Greetings and welcome to another edition of Matthias Matters. I pray this day finds you well and safe, and that your biggest concern today is, like myself, looking for when I'm going to get my next haircut or how that's going to happen. As I said last week, we will continue to be talking about the resumption of Mass with the congregation. The bishop, as most of you might know, came out with policies and procedures, a phased approach about how we will resume Mass with the congregation. And so what I'd like to do today is just to share how we as a parish are going to implement those policies and procedures. First of all, I'd just like to recap the guide of all of these things are the 5 points that I talked about last week as the task force was formed and their guiding premise. The first one is, there's 5 of them. The first one is that whatever we do, make sure we follow the procedures and policies of both the governor and the bishop. The second is that your safety is of the utmost concern, so that we do nothing without thoughtful consideration about what is safe for all those involved. The third is to make sure that whatever we do is respectful to the liturgy. So we'll make sure that it's done well, as things are done well here. Fourth, we want to make sure that people are not turned away. And maybe people can't all participate in the same way, but to make sure that whatever we do is offered to anybody who wants to participate in it. And finally, is to communicate like we're doing right now with what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So having said that, this weekend, the weekend of June 6th and 7th, we will have our virtual Mass as we have done in the past. We will have that Mass available at 5 o'clock on Saturday night for your viewing ability from any time after that. Beginning then, on the 13th and 14th of June, we will begin communion, a drive-through or drive-up communion. More policies or procedures will follow, or explanation of how we're going to do that. But we would simply ask that on that weekend we'll have the virtual Mass, that you view the virtual Mass, and then you come to receive communion. We will offer 3 times for that. The first will be 6 o'clock on Saturday night, and we'll be there for an hour. And then the next 2 will be 10 o'clock on Sunday morning until 11, and then on Sunday from 12 to 1. Like I said, we're going to come together with policies and procedures and hope to produce our own little video about how that's going to happen. So that's how we are going to start to move, taking baby steps, moving forward. We will then begin, the task force will continue to meet till when they feel or when they come up with a safe way that we can begin to have people back in church again. And I'm sure that will follow very soon. To start talking about things like when we will resume daily Mass. People have asked, I know in their questions, about the streaming of daily Mass. Unfortunately, with some of the limitations we have with technology in church, we are not able to live stream at this time, although we're working on trying to find a way to address that. But surely the resumption of daily Mass with a congregation, these are some of the things that we continue to look at and to work on. So more information will follow, but that's just a brief outline of what we're going to do. As far as people's questions are concerned, people were asking about how we could have people maybe in a parking lot with a movie screen or doing a Mass in the parking lot. And we've chosen right now not to do that. We've chosen to do the drive-through communion with the virtual Mass. At least that's what the task force has decided for right now. People have asked when daily Mass will be resumed or how and when that's going to happen. And like I said, we'll give you more information about that. People have also asked again to make sure that the virtual Mass is not stopped. And please know the virtual Mass will continue for, I would say, the considerable future, so that people who cannot or if you don't feel comfortable with coming into a congregation right now still have the availability to have the Eucharist or to be part of the Eucharist at the virtual Mass. One of the other questions that came up, somebody asked a question about the status of the issues with Father Doug. And as Father Abraham promised, he is committed to be totally transparent with that. And unfortunately, right now, there is no more other information about that. But please know that when it becomes available, we'll share that information with you as well. So having said all these things, you might hear what other parishes are doing or what they think is best. Please know we're taking baby steps. We're taking thoughtful steps to best resume Mass with the congregation in a way that is safe and that we feel we can do in a responsible way. So we will continue to keep you abreast of those things. And again, if you have any questions about this will probably be continue to resume most of the Matthias Matters issues. But if you have any questions or ideas about that, please do not hesitate to email matthiasmatters@stmatthias.net, and we will try to address those questions and concerns as possible. So let us continue to pray. This can be exciting as we look to see each other, which we so much long to do. I know I and Father Abraham so much long to see you again. Please know of our prayers, and please ask God to help us and guide us so that the blessing that we receive from each other and the Eucharist is a blessing that we can be and share with each other. Thank you.